Hi, folks. This is Mr. Wallace, your driver education instructor, and we are in part 3 of lesson number 7. And we are continuing with the other road users and how we need to share the road and what our responsibilities are and what are their responsibilities. So, another consideration for road users are large trucks. They definitely cause or present a special hazard for other users of the road for many reasons. One is that they're large, and two, they travel fast and with a lot of inertia, a lot of weight, a lot of mass. So we need to take extra care when sharing the road with them. So I'm going to go over some of this stuff real quick, and then we're going to move on to some other road users. So trucks do make wide right turns, okay? And this is a picture right here. And I want you just to quickly imagine that you're following behind this truck, and this is a one-lane road right here. Just one, not double lanes, but one lane. And you are following this truck, and you see the truck, and maybe you've already experienced this. You see the truck put on its indicators to turn right. But instead of the truck turning right the way you would expect him to with a regular vehicle, the truck either swings wide left or does not start making its turn. Now, that's going to confuse some of us, especially our beginner drivers, because the communication that we expect to see is there's the indicator lights and then moving to the right of the lane. But that's not the case for large trucks. Often they actually swing left before making their very, very wide right-hand turn. And if you decide to try to get over to make your right-hand turn, thinking they're somehow turning left, even though their blinkers telling you they're turning right, they have a tendency to run into you. Now, you might be asking yourself, why would they ever do this in the first place? And the answer is because those back tires actually follow a track that's the inside of their front tires. So, in other words, if they don't swing so far left, then their back tires have a tendency to jump up on the curb, okay? So, and sometimes they even hit stuff like telephone poles. So, that's the reason. So you have to be very, very careful when following behind a truck. And that's not just the only reason. As you'll see in a minute, it also has to do with how they stop. Okay, so large trucks cause visibility problems too. Okay, and there's an example that I want to give you. And maybe you've also been in this situation. I want you to imagine coming to an intersection where you're in the inner lane of two lanes and you want to make a left-hand turn at the intersection. And I want you to imagine on the other side, the opposite side, there are two lanes, and the nearest lane is being occupied by a large truck who has its left indicator on and wants to turn left. So you're going to be turning left and they're going to be turning left. So you kind of have the same right of way. You're not going to really conflict with each other, really. But as you're coming up, and you can see him waiting there, and you are driving up to that intersection, and you're looking out behind the truck. You can see pretty far down the road, and you're looking behind the truck, and you see there's no cars, no vehicles coming in that second farther lane. And what do you do when you come to that intersection? Now, once you get to the intersection, the truck is large. You can't see beyond it. What do you do in that situation? Do you bring your car to a full stop? Do you continue to roll through the turn? I believed, being rather naive and a beginner driver with not a lot of common sense and a lot of confidence in myself. I looked down the road. I didn't see any cars coming. I thought that was good enough. And so I continued to roll through that left hand turn, thinking that there was no, oncoming traffic. And once I cleared the truck, before I even looked, because I was actually looking into that left hand lane that I was turning into, I hear the squeals of brakes. And I look over and I couldn't believe it. There was this red Pontiac bearing down on me. It wasn't going very fast, but totally bearing down on me. Brakes squealing. I was only traveling around 5 miles per hour in my left hand turn, and he nails me. And he was only going, he was going the speed limit, 30 miles per hour, 35 miles per hour. And it was a jarring hit. The airbags went. His airbag went. Next thing I know is my car's engine is turned off, and I am just kind of rolling off the road. My knee was hurt, and I was really shaken up by that. And I'll be telling you, I'm telling you right now, that's the only accident I've ever had with another vehicle. And the outcome of it all was this. So I got a ticket for not yielding to oncoming traffic, right? So the accident was my fault. Both our cars were totaled. Okay, so my insurance company had to pay several $1,000s to the owner of the Pontiac. They had to pay. They did pay me several $1,000s to replace my vehicle, which was declared totaled. They then put a surcharge on my insurance for the next 3 years, which, guys, it came out to probably around $3,500 over the next 3 years, maybe $3,800. So even though I had paid insurance for years, I still wound up paying even more money with these surcharges. And let me tell you, when I understood what that was about, because it took me around a year and a half to figure out why I was paying more, I started doing some searching for other insurance agencies, and they told me that no matter what, these surcharges were going to follow me no matter what insurance I took. So it was a really tough lesson for me to learn, but it's definitely one I would like you to learn. And the lesson there was this: yes, trucks and SUVs and vehicles in general cause visibility problems. They impair your vision. They impair your ability to see down the road and to see oncoming traffic. What should I have done in that intersection? I should have come to a complete stop. I should have creeped to the left so that I could see around the truck, or maybe let the truck clear. And he was waiting because there was oncoming traffic in the other lane that was next to mine. But maybe that's the best answer. Let him clear. If you can't see and there's traffic coming, and if that traffic is coming at 55 miles per hour, that's death type speeds. The best answer is to allow the truck to clear completely. And then you'll have, you'll be able to see down the road and see the oncoming traffic. Okay, moving on. I'm here now. There are large blind spots in front, to the sides, and to the rear of every truck. Okay, I just realized that I didn't get a chance to really discuss this point in detail yesterday. But there, along the side of a truck, there are blind spots. Where are they? Now, here's where they can see you. If you can see the mirrors of the truck, then the truck driver can see you. The only place where you can see the mirrors where the truck driver can't see you is when you are literally underneath the mirrors. Okay. So when you're around that truck driver's front wheel, right around this area here, when you're going down the highway, okay, this is when we are talking about blind spots now. When you want to pass a truck or something like that, or you're in the next lane over, If you're right here, he cannot see you. Okay, you're too low, especially if you're, a sedan or small coupe. He can't see you. Now, if you're over on the side of him, around right here, he can see you because you can see his mirrors and he can see you. But if you're behind, directly behind that truck on the highway, and you can't see his mirrors, he cannot see you. What's the best thing to do in those cases? If you are directly behind the truck, again, he cannot see you. You should allow a lot more space cushion so that he can actually see you. Okay? So, take your foot off the accelerator, manage the space cushion behind you with the other vehicles, and get to the point where she can see you. In other words, you can see at least one of the mirrors. Okay? If you are traveling alongside the truck, you're fine right here in this position. If you are right here traveling alongside the truck, again, you're in this blind spot. These are no zones. Don't stay there. Okay? Continue going forward, accelerate, and move up so that you are in a position where that truck driver can know that you are there. Okay? Okay, staying behind or to the left of the truck that is making a right turn is advisable. Right, do not try to cut around a truck taking a right-hand turn. Okay, a little bit more on trucks, then we'll stop for the next part. Okay, distance to stop. Large vehicles, as you can imagine from your basic physics class, they have more mass. That means they have more inertia, which means it takes more energy for them to stop. Okay? Brake pads are limited, right? There's limitations to how well they can stop a vehicle. Okay? So, the bigger the vehicle, the longer it takes to stop. The smaller the vehicle, the less distance it takes to stop, and therefore the less amount of time. Okay? So leave space between your vehicle and trucks. And here's the most important part, guys. When you are in front of a truck, okay, what do we want to do? First, we want to indicate our intentions early. Okay? If we want to make a lane change, or if we want to turn, if we need to come to a full stop, if we need to slow down, no sudden moves, please, with trucks, okay? Really make it very apparent and make it slow and deliberate what your intentions are when there's a truck following behind you. It's extremely difficult for them to stop. And even when they slam on the brakes, they're still going to continue moving, okay? Remember, the faster the rate of speed, the longer the distance it will take for that truck to stop, okay? These are very conservative distances right here. 400 feet. By the way, that's more than the length of a football field. Okay. Length of a football field is right around 300 feet. This is when they start applying the brakes and when they come to a full stop. So if the brakes are cool, they can come to a full stop basically by the, let's call it the 20-yard line. Okay. On the opposite side of the field. Okay. It takes a long time. You add in other conditions like wet surfaces on the road, for example, or for maybe your driver is distracted for some reason, or maybe he's carrying an extra wide load. This will all contribute to that driver taking more time to stop the car, stop the truck. Okay. One thing I want to mention to you is on a highway, these highways have speed limits that are usually 55 miles per hour or higher. It is extremely dangerous for you when you come to a part of the highway where the traffic has stopped suddenly, and it happens. Okay, there's something in the road, something makes the traffic stop, and there's just too much traffic on the road. This is a time when you need to look in your rearview mirror. Okay, Try to bring your car down to speed as gently and deliberately as you can. Keep checking the rearview mirror to make sure that the drivers behind you, not just driver, but the multiple cars behind you are doing the same thing. Okay. Be very, very aware if you see any large trucks coming. Okay. Because it's going to take them so much time to stop, so much distance to stop. Okay. If you have a truck behind you, try to change your lane. Okay. When you see this situation, try to change your lane. If you cannot change your lane, at least be sure that you are on one of the outside lanes so that you have an out to one of the shoulders. Okay. You do not want to be stuck with a full loaded truck trying to slam on the brakes. And it happens. I've seen this. Uh, I I have not actually seen this with my own eyes. I've seen on YouTube, and I've been next to accidents that were up ahead of us where a truck couldn't stop in time and slammed into multiple cars, and the people, the people in the cars had to be evacuated by helicopter. Okay. All right, let's move on. Okay. Approaching large trucks. Don't underestimate the size and speed of approaching large vehicles. This is when they're coming from the opposite direction. They're oncoming. Okay. So we're thinking more like a country road in this case. So their large sizes can cause vehicles to appear to be moving slower than they actually are. Isn't that, and we've seen this, right? Maybe we're standing by the side of the road and we've noticed this, and all of a sudden this huge truck, it looks like it's moving in slow motion until it gets up right next to us, and then woof, it passes us, and all that air rushes past us. Vehicles also may not appear as large as they are from a distance, right? They look kind of, benign, but once they come up right next to us, we realize how big and how heavy they are. Okay, when driving on a two-way highway, this is what I'm talking about, two-way highway, country road, move as far to the right as possible to ensure your vehicle will not be hit by an approaching large truck. So we want to be in position C, not D, in this situation. Okay, we're not getting off onto the shoulder, but we are bringing our car as far over to the edge, right, that white line, as we can. All right. Okay, so passing large trucks. We're going to use smog to pass trucks just like we would cars, right? Now we're talking about we're on a highway, okay, and we're talking about making a lane change and passing. So we use a signal mirror, observe, right, over our left shoulder, and then go if there's nothing in our mirrors or in our blind spots. In front and rear zones, right? Signal lane change and change lane smoothly. Stay in position B during the passing maneuver. Okay, so we're far over. We're giving that truck a lot of space between us and the truck. Okay, and complete your pass as quickly as possible. That is a key word here, guys. You don't want to be lingering alongside a truck. You want to be going quickly. Okay, so we're accelerating. When we're passing, we're accelerating. That needs to be clear. After you see both headlights in your rearview mirror, both headlights of the truck in your rearview mirror, or any vehicle for that matter, use smog again, signal, check over, signal mirror, observe. That I always call it a head check. Observe over your right hand shoulder this time and return to the right lane. Do not slow down while making your passing. Okay, don't slow down during or after completing the pass. Maintain your highway speed after you've made this pass. Never pass close behind a large truck that is backing up. Okay, I can't imagine how this would look. Okay, I'm thinking right now in an urban environment on a commercial road, or like an intermediate road. You have a truck that is backing up before it's making a delivery, for example, and you're going down the street. Okay, so you're going to give that truck a lot of room to continue its backing up. So what are we going to do? We're going to do our signal to get into the other lane. We're going to look down the road and make sure that it's clear of oncoming traffic. And then we're going to minimize, which means we're going to change our trajectory and go into the opposite lane around the truck. Okay. Now, if it's a 2-lane situation, then on our road that we're going on, so we're in the near lane of the truck, and there's a second left lane that's going the same way as we are. So then you're going to do your smog, right, and then move into the second lane to minimize and move around that truck, and then back into your own lane. Okay. Okay. This is our wrap up on trucks. Okay, so yeah, we got a little bit more. Okay, stopping behind large trucks. Always leave space when you stop behind a truck or other large vehicle, especially when facing up a hill. Why? Because trucks have manual. They don't have manual. They have manual transmission. What does that mean for us? That means trucks go backwards on hills, right? So we want to, if we're stopped behind a truck, especially on a hill, expect that truck to start rolling backwards. Okay. The steeper the hill, the farther the truck will move backwards. Remember that when you are stopping behind a truck. Okay, and we just talked about driving around large trucks. Remember, right here in this spot, we are in the blind spot of a truck. Okay, so if we're driving right up here, we're in this blind spot. This is the no zone. Please accelerate and get in front of that truck. If that's not possible, decelerate a bit and be at least in a spot where he can see you with his mirrors. Okay. Same thing if we're right behind the truck, that driver cannot see you. You need to create more space cushion so that he or she can see you with one of his mirrors. Okay. We're going to stop there for now, and we'll continue with part 4 afterwards when we talk about special purpose vehicles, farm vehicles, and different animals and so on. And then we'll move on to school buses and railroads.